I'm gonna make sure we're good on YouTube before we get started. Here we go.
Do you have that as a waiting cover photo or what?
Yeah, you like it? All right.
Is it like in black and white?
Is it going?
Look at my face. I'm just like, oh God, we gotta do this.
You like it? Oh, hold on. All right. All right. Hey guys, hey everybody. How you guys doing today? I'll wait for a few people to pop on before we get started. Allison's one of the first ones in here. Hey Allison, how you doing today? Hi Reedy. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Hello, hello. Hi Kristen. Joys of being early. Today, you guys, good, Allison. I'm glad you're excited. We're doing good. We're doing good. We'll wait for a couple of people to pop in before we discuss what we are doing today, which is obviously in the title, but still. Hey, Elizabeth, how you doing? I hope you guys are having a good start of your week so far. I was almost going to say weekend, but I was like, no, the weekend's already gone. Hello, everybody. Hi, Ilda. How are you doing today? All right, so we'll wait a couple more minutes. But first of all, you guys, I want you guys to meet my husband, Leviticus. Say hello, Leviticus.
What's up?
Most of you have already met him on Instagram, but today's his first time appearing on my YouTube channel. All right, there's a few more people that popped in, so I guess we will get started. So actually, let's wait for Reina because I know Reina was excited too. So I'll wait for Reina to pop in and then we'll get started. Let's see. Yeah, guys, talks amongst yourselves. Oh, you're barbecuing, Ilda? Levi
been doing that right now too.
He barbecued last night. What are you barbecuing or what are you making, Ilda?
There you go, Reina's there.
There you are, Reina. We were waiting for you to pop in. We were waiting for you to pop in before we got started. All right, guys. So today we are going to be discussing sleep paralysis as well as astral projection. And we are going to be discussing what we think it means and also our experiences. So how does that sound? How does that sound? Grilling salmon and cedar. What's cedar plank?
On cedar plank.
Oh.
Doing it on the cedar plank.
Oh. You
So
can tell.
cedar plank.
You can tell I'm not the cook. He is. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and Google the actual definition of sleep paralysis. Like when you Google it, this is what you are going to find. So hold on. Let me bring it up real quick. Sleep paralysis meaning. Okay, so are you guys ready? Yeah, we're going to be discussing our separate experiences and things along those lines. So I hope you guys are excited. But when you Google sleep paralysis, this is what it says. A temporary inability to move or speak while falling asleep or upon waking. Sleep paralysis most often occurs in people who have narcolepsy or sleep apnea, but it can affect anyone. So that's obviously the regular meaning of it, but as you guys know, it is way more than just that. At least for people who have who are very into, you know, spirituality and things like that, we know that it is way more than just what Google says that it is, right? Okay, so do you want to like start what you think it means and then I'll say what I think it means, or do you want me to start? How you want to do this?
I'll go for it.
Okay, I'm going to let him discuss what he thinks sleep paralysis is, and then I'll give my interpretation of it.
Oh, no, you go first.
Want me to go first? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then I'll go first. So what I believe sleep paralysis is, I believe it is, yes, for the most part, it is what Google explains it, but that's like the regular meaning of it. However, like I said, there is a much deeper meaning to it. And what I think it is I think that it is a form of astral projection. And that is why you don't have control over your body, over your movements, and things like that, because your spirit is essentially out of your body and it's not in your body. And what controls your body? Your spirit does, right? So obviously, that's what I believe it is. It's definitely, like I said, I believe it's definitely a form of astral projection, and that is why, for the most part, we can see things like spirits or angels, or we can hear them as well. And that's where that gift kind of like goes hand in hand. What do you think it is? That's my interpretation.
Everything you just said there, word by word.
Word by word, everything I just said.
I can add on to that,
Yeah.
actually. I mean, on top of that, you can actually go to different places other than just seeing yourself there.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened to me before where I can actually see scenarios going on, like it's going to play through, and then within that day, I actually end up there, kind of like a deja vu deal.
Yeah.
But it's because you actually do leave your body and you're able to channel that kind of energy and actually make a whole scenario from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll actually come out live within a day, a week, a month, but it does. It's like I said, deja vu.
Like
but
visions.
but your spirit will actually leave your body.
Mm-hmm.
The scary part is if it doesn't show back up, it loses its way.
Yeah, I think that's where sleep paralysis comes in, when you have a hard time connecting back to your body, like with your spirit. That's where we start to lose control and we start to freak out a little bit. And that's actually where I believe the sleep demons or the sleep paralysis demons come to play. Because have you guys ever heard the term of sleep paralysis demons? It is very much a thing, because here is why. This is where we have to be very, very careful in the spirit realm and the things that we come across, because if we do not have control over our spirits or over our bodies, that's where these demonic energies try to come in and almost like take over your body, because they know your spirit isn't in there, and it's almost like an open vessel for them to kind of like come into play. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you guys. Because that's basically what like our experiences and what we believe that it is, and you guys can go ahead, open to interpretation. We'll take a few minutes for you guys to kind of leave your stories or leave what you think it is, or your interpretations as well, and we'll like add on to discussing it further, and then after that we'll explain our stories. Let's see. Kristen says, I think there could be a spiritual form, yes, but there is also definitely psychological form as well, by various things. Yes, for sure, Kristen. That's also what it is too. Like I said, not everybody who has sleep paralysis believes in the spirit realm. So that's also where the difference comes into play. Does that make sense? Or not everybody who is active in the spirit realm goes through that. You know what I'm saying? But for the normal meaning is, yes, that you lose control over your body and your muscle spasms and whatnot. It's because you're entering the REM cycle, and it's because your spirit or your subconscious hasn't hasn't connected with your physical body, and that's kind of where it loses its track. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? So that's where we're saying, like, yes, obviously not everybody has, the spiritual side of it. It's just those of us who are very active in the spirit realm where that's where it can come to play, But you have a very good point, Kristen. What are you guys' definitions, or what do you believe it is? And we'll kind of like discuss it further. Like Raina, Elizabeth, I'm sure you guys have had experiences. So I would really like to know you guys' definitions, or how you interpret it to be. Does that make sense? We'll take a minute, like I said, for people to be posting their interpretations. Hi, Night Reader. He says, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Tarot Magician. Oh, I love that. That's hilarious. How are you doing, Night Reader? We are discussing sleep paralysis and astral projection. And I am kind of giving you guys a minute to discuss what you believe it is, or what your interpretations are of it. just to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting. I know this is a very broad topic, and there are many different meanings to it according to everybody who deals with it. So that is why we are asking. And if nobody says anything, then obviously we'll move on and we'll share our experiences. Night reader, it's not so much how you do astral projection, it's more so if your body naturally does it on its own. Like, yes, I know that people can they can, how do I say it? They can receive the gift in many different ways, but with me and my husband, it comes naturally to us. We didn't ask for it. We didn't, work on it or, things like that. Like, it just came naturally, basically.
And it actually produces a lot of anxiety and stress if you're not used to it, or you're thinking that you're trying to fight your body from it too.
Yeah.
Astral projection can happen actually to an individual who's actually just having a dream, what they would explain as a dream, but somebody comes to them actually in that form. Yeah. And they actually have a conversation with that individual, and the individual more likely is not here on earth anymore. They've already passed.
Right.
And so it doesn't actually mean technically we do it or one individual does it. It could be anybody that can actually do it. It's just out of body.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's differences right now. I was reading, like, there's difference between sleep paralysis and astral projection, which I don't know too much in that. My wife would know, more of the differences, but I've heard stories, and I can actually kind of say, yeah, that's more along the lines of an astral projection compared to sleep paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, it can create a lot of bumps in the road for you, especially if you had medical problems or anything, because you're freaking out.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that with energy and everything, because it's always around. People are going to have those gifts, and call them gifts because others, they might be scared. They don't really know what to call them. They call them everything else except that, and that's actually what it is. I mean, like Raina was saying right now, her sleep paralysis isn't pleasant. It's pretty evil. Yeah, that happens both ways. There's no such thing as just one individual having only good. There's always a mixture, because when you open any windows and doors, well, something else will come in sometimes that's not supposed to, but that's where they lurk. They're waiting for that.
Right. But yeah, I understand, Raina, too. That's why a lot of people are very afraid of it, because they do see things and they hear things, and a lot of people just like to say, oh, it's just your nightmares, or, oh, it's just your dreams, and you feel like it's more real because you're trying to focus or whatnot, or you're trying to wake up. Do you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, yeah, it can be pretty scary. It's not always a good good thing. Let's see, Kristen says, gets a lot weirder when you have both spiritual journey and problems like PTSD, because then you learn to tell the difference between the real demon and the trauma demon. Trauma demons are scarier. Yeah, for sure, Kristen.
Exactly. I think she's the one that actually mentioned about the whole psychological part behind that, right? Or was it somebody else?
Yeah.
But that's where she's actually making a very good point there psychologically behind it. I mean, everything we do every single day, everything we think about, no matter what it is, it can be even about yourself, family problems, or anything, even something good you watch, is going to be portrayed through your dreams and through your energy, and as soon as you fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they don't know that when they dream stuff, a lot of stuff, their brain actually brings up these situations and it makes their own kind of like movie in their own dreams and stuff like that.
Yeah. Some
people don't know they actually go farther than that, which is why their actual soul leaves their body and they're able to travel and stuff like that. And a lot of things comes back, and it's actually true what happened, because they're actually able to leave their area and go on and find out other things. But when you go back to PTSD, that's a very hard subject to talk about, especially with me. I've never, I guess you can say, been in that area. I'm pretty sure my wife maybe hasn't been in that psychological area or anything like that. So it's very hard to actually connect like that unless somebody who actually has that is that comfortable talking about it, because that's a very tough area to actually connect. But it's a very good point, though, bringing in the psychological area of it. I mean,
yes, for sure. Hey, Tarot Oracle, how you doing? Let's see. Yeah, no worries, Night Reader. Not everybody is open to it. Like I said, it's definitely not something that is easy to deal with. It can be pretty scary, but the more you are confident and the more that you know that you're the one in control, that's when it gets easier. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely a process for sure. Let's see. Holly says, it just happened with me too. This was way before my spiritual awakening and it scared me. It felt like I was dying. Now I know what it was. It hasn't happened to me in a while. Yeah, Holly, that's what it can feel like. It can literally feel like you're dying, but that's because again, your spirit is out of your body. It's not in your body. And that's what happens when we pass on or when we die or when we
Sometimes
go
you
to
might
the
actually
other
stop
realm.
breathing. I've done it multiple times. I get scared sleeping by myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Or if I want to sleep on the couch because I'm tired because I know my wife's the one that wakes me up.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. I mean, also, too, you just got to realize that you got to have more control in your mind.
Yeah.
Psychological, going back to that, it's
Yes.
all your body. It's all mind. It's all from you, though. You have to beat that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, AA, how you doing today, hon? And that's where, going back to psychological part of it, for me, I know this is not for everybody, but for me, I am very confident in the spirit realm, and I am very aware of what spirits are good and what spirits are not. It just comes naturally that I can feel their energies. So for me, when I know, for example, a demon is lurking, I don't let it have power, and I automatically say, "You are not welcome, you must leave." And most of the time, 98% of the time, the demons just automatically leave. But because they already sense that power within me and they can see that I actually do have power over them. And so because of that, I am very lucky that I have never really had a horrible encounter like that. But again, I never welcome those energies. I don't allow those energies in my space, in my work, in the things that I do. I don't pay them any mind, and I don't give them any room to do what they want to do. Does that make sense? Let's see. Kristen says, I've been astral projecting while sleeping since I was a little kid, and it used to cause really bad sleep paralysis, but I think my body sort of adapted to it since I started so early. Yeah, Kristen, your body definitely adapts to it, especially because, like I said, the more confidence you have in it, I'm not going to say the easier it is, but essentially the easier it is because of your confidence and because of, again, we just get used to it. Like, especially when it happens like so often, we get used to the feeling, we get used to the energies around us, and we get used to, again, just the whole thing of it all. You know what I'm saying?
I'll add on a little bit to that. Don't play the dummy, though.
Yeah.
Because you're going into an area that no matter how many years you've done it, no matter how long you've done it, you can be 80 years old and having those feelings or dreams, and you've been doing it. There's no such thing as you knowing that area or that realm.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to be very careful.
Yes.
You really do got to watch out because the same voices you may hear, the same people you may see might not be them.
Yeah.
Remember, demons can take the shape of anything at any time.
Yep.
At any time. So you really do have to be careful, especially if you're going to go or drift off into that. Yeah. Remember, control yourself. You have that right, that spirit. You have that, Oh, I'm looking for a word here that
you have the power.
Free will, actually, is what I'm looking for. You have the right of free will. You have that control over your body before anything else or anybody else does.
That's awesome, Paulo. We work in similar ways. I love that. But I guess now we can jump into like our experiences and things like that. Yeah, you want to go first? Because I know you.
Oh,
he's actually dealt with this way. Like, I think it happens to him more than it does to me. Like,
I mean, the basic ones that I would get, and these actually related to my father, because I didn't know my father had a lot of them. He just recently passed, but me and him would always talk about these actual dreams, and realize they're really not dreams because you can actually see what's going on, you can feel what's going on, and you can breathe or not breathe, so you know what's happening to you. And the very first ones, and it happens, and it still happens to me too. And don't worry, I get scared all the time. I try to calm myself down, the breathing.
Yeah.
Try to get back to where I need to get back to and start from, ground up. But the very first one, and it just happened to both of us when we were kids, is the one of stop breathing. It feels like somebody is making you stop breathing, or you might have been on your body too long and then you can't get back to it, but you're telling yourself you need to get it back now because you wasted your energy. Your spirit can't be out of the body like that regularly. You're only doing it, and it might be that you're not even doing it because me as a kid and him as a kid, we didn't know we were maybe even portraying that or doing that, and all of a sudden that's where we felt that where our oxygen was leaving the body, where we couldn't breathe, and all of a sudden we fight.
Yeah.
And we come back, and all of a sudden you get that like you're coming out of water and holding your breath long enough, and the funny thing is that it was never actually in the water. There's no dreams about being in the water like that. It just goes black.
Yeah.
And that's where you know you're not in that great area anymore, because you're not seeing pictures, you're not seeing people, you're not enjoying what you're actually doing. And then you can feel your body, but then you feel your body going, wake up,
Yeah.
wake up,
Like
wake up.
subconsciously telling
And I was
yourself.
like, but you need to do it correctly. Don't
Yeah.
jump. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And finally you come to where you, when you wake up, you're literally actually gasping a little bit for air. And it's not the point to where you actually needed the air, but it's because your brain started working and telling you, or you're back in your body and you're saying, okay, I was here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here. Now
Like,
get back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi guys. Hi Paulwyn, Jason, Alessandra. How you doing today? Paulwyn says your husband is really smart.
I try to be. I know.
Yes,
I read a lot of books.
But yeah, me, I can tell you guys my very first experience, at least that I remember, was probably about 10 years ago. It was right after my grandpa passed away. And I was at the one, that was when I first had, like you said, your first spiritual awakening, because that's when I received all my gifts, was because of my grandpa and because he passed. I believe now he was the reason why I received the gifts that I did in the first place. So going back to that story, my first time with astral projection was, and sleep paralysis, was again a little shortly after he passed. And I was in a deep, deep sleep and I could hear a knocking at my door. But I knew I was in the spirit realm. I knew I wasn't in the physical. Like, it's so weird how we can sense the difference of a physical realm and the spirit realm. At least I can. Can you sense the difference? Like when
like I said, it's actually very difficult for me, because sometimes I just think, oh, this is a regular dream.
Yeah.
Smack myself awake or something like that, and all of a sudden you don't. And you feel like a wall there, and you're going, oh no, this is not this. This is where you need to grab a hold of your brain here.
Yeah.
Or if you really feel out of it, because I mean, I've seen where you go really, where you, like I said, how do they say, you chase the rabbit hole, you go into the rabbit hole deal. You need to start, little by little getting yourself back. But I can't actually tell. I'm not that strong like my wife. I know that I know this will happen. I know it's going to happen again. And even talking about it sets it off. So maybe tonight it will, but I need to have the mindset to make sure that I know what I'm doing to come back to when I need to.
Yeah, but I guess because me, I've always been, how do I say it? Ever since I was a child, I've always felt like I was really connected to the spirit realm. And I felt like that's something that's been a part of me since I was a little kid. I just, again, didn't know what it was. My parents, or at least my mom, is very spiritual, so she always tried to hide that, from us or whatnot. But it never left, you guys. Ever since I was a kid, I was so interested and felt so connected to the spirit realm that I think that's how come I know the difference between being in the physical and being in the spirit realm. And I think that's also what helps me gain the confidence and feel like I have more control when I am in the spirit realm. Because let me tell you guys, again, going back to the first experience that I can at least remember, again, it was shortly after my grandfather passed. And again, I remember being in a deep, deep sleep, feeling like something was different and something was just a little off. And I was trying to put the pieces together. I soon realized that I was in the spirit realm. The reason why I realized was because my spirit was literally out of its body, and I could literally see my body sleeping on my bed, right? So again, I was spiritually aware of what I was doing and where I was, right? And as soon as I realized where I was, I heard a knocking at my door, it wasn't even a knocking. It was like a banging on my door, loud, like something was trying to get in. And this is also why, you guys, it is very important for you guys to sleep with your doors closed. I don't want to scare anybody if you sleep with your door open, hey, awesome. But for me, I feel most comfortable sleeping with the doors closed rather than open, because it's true what they say. The doors are, a leeway into the spirit realm also, So for me, like I said, I sleep with the doors closed. So I heard a really loud banging on the door. So my spirit kind of floated out of my room and into the living room. And that's where I saw this black figure. Right away, I knew it was a demonic figure, and I flew right back into the room. I was like, nope, not having it, right? went back into the room. I saw my grandfather kind of standing at the side of my bed. He was facing the door. And then I also heard another male voice at the corner of like the house, you know. I couldn't tell who that spirit was, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the angels that watches over me, because this angel was very, very, like, he spoke with authority. And I remember specifically hearing that angel telling that demon no. That's all he said. The knockings stopped right after that, and I fell back into my body and I woke up, like, physically, right? So after that experience, even waking up from it, I could still see the shadow or the figure of my grandpa, like, standing at the corner of my bed, right? So but then of course I fully woke up, and the sight kind of just like disappeared. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, like, what was that? Like, but obviously it was my grandpa and one of the angels that I have protecting me, letting me know that, hey, there's something that's trying to get in, so you need to fight it, and you need to, you need to help us fight it off. Basically what they were trying to tell me. Does that make sense? Let's see. Paula says, do you work with crystals, Himalayan or sea salt? Yes, I do work with crystals. I actually need to work with them more often, but I do have a lot of crystals for sure. My favorite one is selenite. One for the cleansing that it brings, and also because of the angelic connection that it has.
I can grab them so you can
Yeah,
see
grab a couple of the crystals that we'll show you, Miss Paula, some of the crystals that I have.
Here, though,
Yes, my husband bought me some like
more display. The
big ones.
Yeah, these are coming from like India and Africa and stuff.
So this is my amethyst that I have here. I usually keep it by the side of my bed, like on the nightstand, because amethyst is really good for people who have psychic dreams, which I do. But now that we have our daughter, she likes to kind of like touch everything and move everything and drop everything. So I'm trying not to have these things like in her reach. So now I just keep them here in my room, like where I do my readings and stuff. But yes, this is my amethyst. My husband got it for me for one of my birthdays. I think it was probably like 3 years ago, right? Something like that.
About 3 years ago, actually. Yes.
Yeah. So I've had this one already in my collection. I love it. I love the amethysts that are more like darker. I don't like, darker in color, which this one obviously is. So it's beautiful. Hi, Daisy. Hi from Vegas. That is so awesome.
Yeah, get some good luck before you go hit those.
Is it even open though?
I think everything's closed over there. You'll find that one person who's not following the rules. Wear like triple mask though,
Yes, and then let's see if I can even carry this one. This is my huge clear quartz cathedral, which you guys know, clear quartz, you can program clear quartz to do absolutely anything. So I love it. It's so gorgeous. Again, it's really deep, like in the center, and the outside is really polished and smooth. And I think there's even another crystal growing from it. This one right here, I'm just not sure what it was. But right, he said that this was like another crystal growing from it also.
There's one actually growing inside of it, and there's one growing there on the side too. So there's actually like 3 in 1.
Yeah, there's like many different ones. But for the most part, it's a clear quartz cathedral, and I love it. Yeah. Great for clarification and cleansing for sure.
Yeah, that one actually, she was holding there to clarify where we get them here. We just happen to know the guy, and he's really nice and everything, because this is actually what restaurants and businesses, and even they're like in Vegas, they have these, but the big ones, and they charge a lot for these things.
Expensive.
But that's why actually, if you see them in there, if you notice the energy behind the people when they walk in, it changes.
Yeah. And then I want to get a bigger selenite, but this is just the one that I have. It was literally like, I think like $5, so I got 2 of them. But it's just a selenite tower, and it's so pretty. This is the one that is great for cleansing, and it is also great for angelic energies, like bringing in the angels. And they really, apparently they like this crystal, so that's why it's known for that. And it's also good working with the moon also, because as you can see, it kind of has like that reflection that the moon does, so yeah, one of my favorites, but I definitely want to get a bigger selenite for sure. But I just got a little one for now. Let's see. I know there was a couple of questions.
Yeah, before somebody was put something pretty good information there. I forgot who was putting it. Scary what I told them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to come off very, happy, but
Let's see. I'll try to move back up here.
It was a little bit more up top.
More, right? Jason says mirrors. I don't have mirror in the room I sleep in.
There you
This
go.
helps
Yeah,
me.
no
Yeah,
mirrors, no
mirrors
doors
are not good. We don't have a mirror in our room, but we do
Yeah.
have a TV. But still,
I also
like,
carry a lot of crystals in the room too.
yeah, crystals, and we have a big old cross too that really helps. Yeah, Paula says I close all the doors and windows for sure.
And a firearm for those non-spirits, you know.
Yeah.
We live in Texas. I'm sorry. But
Black crystals, hematite is great. Black only in the room. Yeah, I do have hematite, but I just have like a little baby one. Yeah, also hematite is wonderful too. Yeah, amethyst for spiritual awareness for sure. Black obsidian, yes, I have black obsidian and smoky quartz, both in like a little sphere, and they're so cute. I love it. No, Kristen, I do not work with any deities just because I don't follow any of that. The only spirits I work with are my angels, just because those are the safest beings or spirits that you can work with. I'm not trying to bash deities or anything along those lines. You guys are free to do whatever it is you want to do. But for my personal journey, the safest spirits and beings to work with is your own angels.
and also for our daughter too, because you gotta
Yeah.
remember, anything evil that comes through, they always want to go for the innocence.
Yeah. So those are the only spirits I allow, spirits, beings I allow in my work, in my energy.
CS says I can't seem to dream about my past lives. That's actually not a bad thing. I mean,
Yeah.
technically, we actually don't know if we're dreaming about our past lives unless you're really in touch with that era. But we really don't know if we're dreaming about past lives or something that's going to happen afterwards. I mean, of course, you're dreaming about it. You're in 1800s clothes and there's no cars around, and obviously you would know.
Yeah.
But then again, you might actually just saw a documentary right before then, and you're, like I said, your brain's actually making up their own. Yeah, you're making up your own scenario for that too as well.
Sometimes we're not. I will tell you this, CS. Sometimes we're not always meant to know our past lives. Sometimes, like I said, either maybe something bad, it's not always good or bad to know your past lives. But if you don't know them, it's probably for a reason why you haven't connected with your past lives. Like I know me, every now and then I'll see maybe like a glimpse or something, or like a picture of something, or maybe I'll have deja vu, because that's where deja vu comes from also. It's the feeling that this has happened before, but it's almost like something triggered you from your past life, and kind of like the same scenario. Or say you met somebody and you have deja vu, it's probably because you knew that person in a past life situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not always good, it's not always bad. It's just sometimes you're just not meant to know your past lives, and maybe it's because you wanted to start fresh in this life and something held you back, or you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Might have been really bad, that to where you actually told yourself to not remember.
To not remember, yeah.
Not all of us have great lives. I know some people say even everything going on right now, this life is not, the next one will be better. But then again, you got to look back and say maybe one before it was actually worse, and this is our good life here. So you say you got to live day at a time there.
Hey Wolf, how you doing? How's Tosh doing? Raina, what'd you say? She said, I don't have a lot of crystals in my room, but I have Princess, her dog.
Oh, okay, I thought it was like her daughter or something.
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh, thank you, Jason. He said, y'all look good together, seem good together, good energy. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Faded, X-rated.
But yeah, so what else can we talk about? I guess we can talk about...
anybody has a question on... I have a couple other stories. This is when I was just a kid. I have stories from my grandfather. On his, when he used to be... he was doing trucking, but he lived out on the outskirts of Houston. This was in I believe in the 60s, out there where there was nothing but, just nothing but monte out there. In other words, nothing but trees, woods. The backwoods. This is where people say they sighted Bigfoot. All this stuff was going on, crazy things going on out there, lights out of nowhere, orbs out of nowhere.
Just spiritual
voices
activity.
in the middle of the night. It's basically another area of the Blair Witch Project out there, because it was nothing but that. A lot of people died out there during different times of their lives. So Marina, tell us more stories.
Okay, you tell
Actually, I tell the stories, but don't get it wrong, guys. It scares me. My skin crawls up and everything too, because it's just something that I have to go back into myself. My energy goes back into that, and I'm like And I'm remembering it, so I'm like, oh man, tonight's gonna be a bad dream night. Like, but I'll tell you a very serious one, and I'll try to shorten down because it's a long story with my grandfather, and he's 84 years old, and he remembers details still.
Yeah.
So of course he's living out there where I was saying he's living out there in the outskirts of Houston. I forgot the little small town he's out there, but where he's at, I mean, it's basically just like 10 acres. It's his own little trailer deal, and there's nobody around. You can scream the loudest, top of your lungs, nobody's gonna hear you. Sorry, it's just the way it is. I think his next neighbor might have been the bar down, like 5 miles down or something like that. But he's there, right? And of course, in our family, our Pardo family, we enjoy beverages. So adult beverages, and he was out there by himself. Mind you, he had his family over here in the valley in South Texas. So he was doing work over there because sometimes you gotta go where the work's at. He was doing that. He was in the trailer. So he's in that trailer, and he's said he got home fine and everything like that. He went to sleep, and all of a sudden, of course, in that golden hour where everything just seems to come to, he said it must have been at least anywhere between 2 to 4. And he says, what are you talking? 2 to 4, Mijo? 2 to 4. He's like, I don't know, because obviously we don't have, back then I would have to look at a watch, or I have to look at a clock, something like I have there. He's like, I don't even think I have one of those lit up watches or anything like that. He's like, I would just wake up when the sun was coming up because everything would come into the room. And he's like, well, I'm there and I'm asleep, and I just remember the bathroom lights on. I was like, I never leave anything on. I go to sleep in pitch black, or I can't because of the light. And he says, I just remember opening my eyes there, and then there's something in the restroom. I'm like, oh man, somebody broke in to my place. He's like, and I don't have anything. I'm over here like, do I hit him with like with something? I don't know what he's like, I don't even know what I had in my drawers, because technically I really didn't live there. It was just to sleep there for work, and then I would drive back down here to the valley for the family. He's like, I don't even know what. He's like, do I have time to get up and go get a knife, a spoon, or a fork? I don't even know what I have in the kitchen area, because he just eats at the bar too, or at a restaurant, and then he goes just to sleep there. And he's hearing creaking and everything, and then all of a sudden the door cracks open, right? And he's there, and he's like, okay, well then there's nothing else I can do. And he's like, I can feel my heart pumping through my chest. He's like, I don't know. I'm thinking this is a person's gonna come out, man. No, back then, they would try to steal where they want. They'd basically kill you. Nobody would find you because you're out in the middle of nowhere, and then they would take off whatever you had. He's there, and he's like, and all of a sudden I just see it's not that. It's a black figure, and it's nasty. I mean, this thing had like goat feet. It was just a gross. And I mean, he remembers detail, but he told me this story about 15 years ago, maybe actually a little bit more. So I need to ask him again. But when I ask him, he looks at me like, I don't want to tell you again, but if I have to, I will, kind of deal. Because he gets scared too, and I get scared telling the story also. Because you keep in mind, telling the story over and over again could open a portal to allow that to come in. So that's why I just want to tell this one time, and it's recorded here. People can replay it at their home, not here. But I mean, going back to the description that he gave and everything like that, or what other people would describe and everything, and then again, you're thinking, and I'm thinking, this is my grandpa. Okay, maybe he might have been a little bit drunk or something, and his mind's playing tricks on him, right? But keep in mind, back then, out there in this time era, something like that, this was in the 60s, 60s going to the early 70s and stuff. This was time when it was all dark out there. When it got dark, it was time for demons to play. Because nobody could stop them out there. There was nobody out there praying. There was nobody, no churches. There's nothing out there religious whatsoever, other than the individuals being there. But when you're drunk by yourself out there in the middle of nowhere, you're allowing stuff to come to you because you're weak. Or weaker at that time. This thing, he says, comes up to him. Doesn't go anywhere, doesn't make fast moves, but it's coming up slowly. It's coming up slowly because it notices him now on the bed looking right back at him. So now he's thinking, dang, this isn't a person. And this is where my skin, I'm already feeling here on my skin. This is where it started crawling a little bit. Yeah. It's like, this isn't a person. He's like, this thing came for something else. And he's like, it came for me. I'm the only one out here. What else can it come for? And all of a sudden he said the thing came up, and all of a sudden put his face into the face of my grandpa. And he's like, it was about the ugliest thing you can ever see. Because it was, and maybe it was cliche. He's like, but the thing was gross. It looked like a bleeding face, red eyes, horns, messed up teeth. And it didn't even say anything. It just looked at me, and it looked at me like if it was about to consume me or take me. And he's like, I about almost actually died myself. I'm thinking, I think he told me, I was thinking like, what if I just die? Maybe he can't take me. I was like, doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It'll just consume you. The way it was there for a reason.
Possessed.
He's like, what I can just remember. I don't even think I closed my eyes. I think I was still staring at it, but I was just like, pray, 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 pray. Speak nothing good for it. Speak everything against it. Do not allow it to anymore. He's like, I was like, I probably might have been only like halfway through a Hail Mary or what's it called? Hail Mary or any. I forgot what actually prayer he said, because of course back then they had different prayers. Now it's just the basic prayers. All fall right.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't even get through half of it, but it just started walking off, and I'm like, great, it's going, like it's looking for something else. And he's like, and all of a sudden, I remember like, if it just went away, and I woke up and I thought, okay, it was a dream. It's a dream. He's like, it wasn't. The doors open, the light was on. I just maybe passed out or something, and it was real. It wasn't fake. But what I must have done, he or she, whatever it must have not liked it. Yeah, and it left. But it showed its presence that close to where I realized, I was this close. It could have done anything. He said, Mijo, it could have done anything to me. It's like, I thought it was a dream and everything, but I don't think it was a dream. It just felt too much. Like I could feel. And then when he's telling me, of course, both of us were getting goosebumps. I was like, no, the presence there. I was like, we can stop talking about it now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always good right after that to say a prayer or just think everything positive, for yourself, everything negative against it, and let it do its own thing. But yeah, that's the short story, because I don't want to tell you the long one. Of course, we got mirrors here and there, we got doors here and there, but we close them. But there's no reason to allow it, especially where we're at and where you guys are at. But that's just the story right there. That's actually my grandfather's story, and he's 84.
Yeah.
And I remember a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that guy remembers every single second of it.
Detail. Yeah, Raina, I'm okay. I could literally picture what he was describing, like in my mind. I can literally picture it, almost like I was like seeing it for myself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's why I was like all into it. Let's see. I guess I'll tell him. I know we told our most recent one on Instagram, but not everybody was there. So you want to say our most recent one where we kind of both did it at the same time?
That one you should lead it, because that one actually happened to you and me. I just kind of, it was because it was for you. It wasn't even for me. I was just more of a follow up to. I was like a backing to you, actually, just to help you realize what it was. But you know who it was.
Yeah. Hold on. She's interested in Art's question, if you guys can answer that. Okay, let's see. Let's scroll. I know Art was, I was reading it, Art, but I was so into the story. Let's see. You sometimes talk to yourself in another voice out loud in sleep. Any comments? It's your spirit. It's either your spirit talking to your body or another spirit talking through your.
Another voice. What do you mean by another voice? Are you talking about a different language? Are you talking about a different tone?
Said in whisper voice and a normal voice.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sensing that it is either your spirit trying to tell you something, like to your body, like to your subconscious, just like in the spirit realm, or maybe it's somebody that maybe an ancestor or something along those lines, that someone was in your family and maybe that's who you heard. Maybe that's why it sounded so normal, or do you know what I'm saying? Like it could be a number of things, Art. It just that's where it comes into play, where the more you do it, the more you'll recognize these patterns, or whatever it is that you're seeing or hearing. Does that make sense? But yeah.
Real quick.
Huh.
I was gonna ask Art, because he's still there. Do you watch a lot of TV right before you go to sleep? Specifically, anything that's actually the past in TV, not like something that's or not live TV, but something that might have been before in movies and stuff like that. Anything influential, informational, like.
It's just no. He just says one sounds scary.
Don't answer back.
Yeah, don't. You need to be very, very careful, Art, if one sounds scary, because that means that it's most likely a demonic energy that's trying to come to attack you. and you need to give it you need to have authority over it. Okay, Art, don't give it any attention.
Firm.
You need to literally tell it to leave and that it is not welcome, because if you don't tell it that, it's going to linger and it's going to stay until it literally gets the power over you. That's what they do. Multiple conversation. You can't talk to it, Art. You can't be talking. If it sounds scary, you can't have conversations with it. The only thing you say to it is it has to go, it has to leave, and it is not welcome. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, is these spirits, these demons, these bad energies, we have power over them and they know that. But you have to be very, very confident in it, and you have to be very, very you have to have that spiritual awareness, because if not, they're not going to listen,
To make a dark situation more light. Art, are you sure it's not your wife? Did you get her mad? She might have been putting those voices in your head, Art. If the next one tonight says, or anything, if the next one says diamonds or, new car or something, you're really more in trouble, actually. But yes, Art, don't actually reply.
Yeah.
And the only thing you do reply is to wish it to leave. Mm-hmm. However you are, religious, not religious, spiritual, it doesn't matter. You tell it to leave.
To leave is not welcome and cannot harm you. Literally what you got to do. I'm telling you guys, I kid you not. I have to fight these things off regularly. And I never...
It's because of me.
I never allow them power. I never allow them to do anything. I never. I literally look at them and I say, you are not welcome here and you need to leave and don't come back. And I say it in a voice to where you guys don't recognize that voice, but I say it with authority and I say it with confidence. And you cannot be scared. You cannot show it that you are scared, because any sense of fear, that's what they feed off of. They feed off of your fear. So if you are scared, that's what gives them the power to stick around. And I am sensing, Art, that you are a little bit afraid of them, and you're you feel like you don't have confidence in it. And I think that's probably why you feel like they're lingering, Yeah, use your faith. Use your faith to push them away. That's what you got to do.
Hey, the first, the rule right there, you brought it up already. Luckily, my wife's able to help you, and I'm able to give a little bit more advice to you if I can. First thing to tell them is use your faith. Yeah, tell them to leave, because you can. It's your place. You should never be scared in your own mind, in your own household, in your own dwelling.
Yeah, because it's your place. You have the domain, and that's that. Good. But yeah, sometimes we have to fight these things off on a regular basis. They keep coming to attack you, in different ones, especially if you are very high in the spiritual realm. These beings know who you are, and there's different ones that are okay, let me try. Okay, let me try. You didn't work. Okay, let me do it. I have more power. Do you know what I'm saying? So it could just possibly be that you are, pretty high up there. They know who you are, and that's why you feel like they keep coming,
That's what you just put there. I've just been experiencing a lot of dreams that come true. That is part of your actual gift right there.
Yeah.
But you need to learn how to, start narrowing it down a little bit, and don't let these other voices take advantage of you, because they might actually put different ideas and different scenarios in your head to where you're going to fool yourself, and then you're actually going to be going against yourself.
Yeah.
So just take it, day at a time, night at a time deal. And he said, but use your faith, though. You got it already.
That's the most important part, is your faith. All right, Art. But yeah, it definitely sounds like you have a gift of some sort, especially the gift of dreams. I have the gift of dreams as well. I've had the gift of dreams since I can remember, but I really only got into it probably about 10 years ago. And yeah, I've had dreams too that have come true, and sometimes it's not good. Sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's good. It just depends on, the situation and how much control you have over it. You've been talking to yourself a lot when these dreams come true. Yeah, it's a form of deja vu, Art. It's kind of like a form of deja vu,
It's also happened to me too, Art. I'll be waking up from an actual dream, but I'll be actually talking to myself within the dream. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad thing, but I'm going to go more psychological part of this. Make sure you know the difference of when it's too much. Yeah. And you need to actually ask more professional or, medical help, rather than what we're talking about right now. But I got to say it, because we just got to get more in the psychological part of it too. Mm-hmm. But like you said, if you're able to control it, you're that strong, more power to you.
Yep. That's why we're talking about it, because we very much have, you know, control and power, and we very much are aware of, you know, what we have. That's why we feel more open to discussing it, you know?
Yeah. And then what we're talking about more is actually the spiritual area, or spiritual realm, ourselves, our own body, our own entities.
Yeah.
Going into psychological, medical, anything like that, we're not in there. So of course we can't give you that expertise on that. So
you say I'm cray cray. No, we're not saying that.
I'm a little cray cray right now. I mean, come on, man.
We're all a little cray cray, aren't we, Art? Every single one of
There's
them.
millions of people out there when we're talking about, they wouldn't understand a word that we're saying, and they would always say that we're wrong. So if anything, you're actually right, and it's right what you're already doing. Just keep on doing it.
Yep, and that's all you need to know, Art. As long as you got the confidence and confidence in your faith, that's all you got to do. And like I said, don't give them power.
Raina, my mom told me I got sleep paralysis because I ate pork before bed.
Raina.
Jesus, Raina.
Ay. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to ask. We're open to questions, or if you want to hear more stories, which one? Let us know. Raina sent you a donation for all your stories.
Story time with Leviticus.
Mexican moms, I swear. I know, right, Elena? Elena, why did I call you Elena? Raina?
It has that same sound
like the ending of it. Bye, Wolf. Thank you for joining, hon. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night.
Yeah, what time is it over there?
He's in the Australia right now, so I don't even know what time it is right now.
Sleepy time.
Yeah. Say, just have been experiencing more controlled experiences now that I'm older. Yeah, it takes time, Art, for you to finally feel like you have control over it, for sure. For sure. Yeah, Paula, that is why I try to stop watching like horror films or horror movies, like anything with demonic energies in them, because it can take a toll on you, and it can be in your subconscious, and it is an open realm for your dreams. You know, that's why it's true what they say: be careful, little eyes, what you see, or be careful, little ears, what you hear. You know, that's very, very true. So I'm glad that you are very aware of the things that you watch. You know, sometimes I can't even watch the news because of all the craziness, or all you know what I'm saying. It's just we have to be very, very careful with all of that. You know.
And also, right now the news is just about 80% negative, 20% good. And even the good, they still try to find something bad coming from it.
Yeah, it's definitely important before sleep, for sure. Even anytime through the day, especially if you know that it's going to stick in your mind like all day. Like, for example, you watch a scary movie, you know, or you go to watch a scary movie premiere, but it's, you know, in the middle of the day. But if you know that it's going to get to you like it does to me, that's why I'm like, even then, I'm like, nope, I try to stop completely watching, you know, any of that stuff, you know.
The neighbors over here.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, part of their truck.
They probably just got home. Yeah, Ilda, I don't watch horror movies anymore, horror shows. Like, I think the last thing that I may have seen that was a little bit too much for me was a haunted house on Hill, or Haunted Hill House, or something like that. The series on Netflix. But I regret watching. But I didn't think it was gonna be that freaky. I thought it was gonna be more so like paranormal. I can watch paranormal stuff, no problem. But stuff like that, oh, don't watch that show, you guys. Right, I just stay away from pork. Paula, I cannot watch Criminal Mind type series. Yeah, with serial killers, effects really bad after. Yeah, same, Paula. Same. It wasn't scary. What'd you say? Yeah, I just recently woke up from a birthday balloon floating in front of me. I've never seen anything that tangible before. Art, try to look up what a balloon means in spiritually. Try to look up what a balloon means spiritual-wise, because there's probably a symbolic message behind it. Does that make sense? So yes, definitely try to look up what a balloon means in the spiritual realm because there's probably some sort of message behind it. It's asking for bad dreams. I know, right, Ilda? Okay, now you guys tell us some experiences you had too. Tell us some experiences you've had because I want to know.
They barely got home, so you can hear all the potatoes in
the doors and stuff. Yeah, also, yes, Raina, thank you. Thank you for, I'm actually going to highlight that comment. Raina says, word of advice, don't sleep on your back. Yes, if you suffer from sleep paralysis and you want to take more control over it, sleeping on your back is the way that it happens, you know, and I always try to fall asleep on my stomach or even on my side. I try to never fall asleep on my back because that's like an open doorway for, you know, sleep paralysis and whatnot. So thank you, Raina, for reminding me about that. I was trying to remember all the little details, but so thank you. Like, right, you agree sleeping on your back? Yeah. That's why I always try to tell you to sleep on your stomach.
At the same time, too, depending on what you're going through, especially if you leave your body.
Yeah.
If you're sleeping face down, it can happen like me where I actually end up with my face in the pillow.
Yeah.
And Renee actually has to try to push me over because I end up that way.
I've done it more than once.
It can be multiple things. I mean, I've been where I'm literally exhausted and I just fall asleep that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, it can happen like that. But yeah, sleep on your back. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
No. And the thing about it is, when you're pregnant, like us women, we obviously, when we're pregnant, we have to sleep on our back. Even on my sides, I couldn't sleep on my side because my daughter would kick my rib cage like in the middle of the night. So I had no choice but to sleep on my back. But thankfully, while I was pregnant, I didn't have very many like experiences, you know. I think my daughter ultimately was protecting me like from all that, you know. So, but yeah, don't sleep on your back. Good, Elizabeth. I'm glad you don't really have bad dreams. I'm glad you don't. That is awesome.
Lucky.
You have a dirty mind. Yes.
Just say, don't sleep on your back. That's how kids are made.
Reedy, you always see dreams. Yes, dreams are very, very, pretty normal for everybody to have, you know? Pretty normal, just depends. Except actually, I'm going to tell you guys, my sister is not a dreamer. Like, she, for the life, says she doesn't have any dreams. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you must be having a million things on your mind if you don't have any dreams. It's worse when you're pregnant. I know, that's what I'm saying, Raina. When sometimes us women, when we get pregnant, we have no choice to sleep on our back. But thankfully, like I said, I didn't have too many experiences, at least that I can remember while I was pregnant, but I think it's because my daughter was very much protecting me. Paula says, this was freaky. The first time I watched the Da Vinci Code, I had labradorite in my hand. I fell asleep with doors, windows closed. When I woke up, I felt like I was levitating and there was wasps. Dang, Paula. Dang.
That can actually just be the whole aspect of you watching that movie. You played your own mind with it. Even the crystals or anything like that. Remember, your mind is a very powerful thing because it's what actually controls you, your body, your spirit, everything. Your spirit's its own area and everything. Yes, it can't leave, but your mind is what's controlling it when you're awake and even when you're asleep until you're technically not asleep.
And especially when you have a crystal, these crystals enhance that energy, you know, because of that. So that's probably what you felt also. But yes, I know that labradorite is an open door to the spirit realm. Like that's what it's like meant for, like as almost like a little doorway to the spirit realm, doorway to magic. They call it the stone of magic. That's why they call it the stone of magic. So that's why sometimes we have to be careful when we actually do have crystals on us, because they can enhance not only the good, but they can also enhance the bad too, right?
I love what she put right there. I never actually watched the movie. I fell asleep, which actually I'm going to go in and put more into that. You do, and that's because like I said, I actually read a lot of things. I do read a lot of things. A lot of things are backed up by, medicine, but at the same time, they're backed up by a lot of people who, focus on that. Going back into the psychological area, when you fall asleep watching a movie, and if you don't watch it, you actually still hear it. And I was actually taught this a couple of weeks ago before my father passed. The nurses and even doctors, the last thing that goes before you do or your spirit does is your hearing. So when you're asleep and you're watching a movie, the movie's going, even if you have it barely on 1 or 2 on the volume, if you can hear it, you will actually be able to pick
Your
up whatever's
spirit
going
can hear
on.
it. Mhm.
And on top of that, you have to remember, and I talked about this the other night. Remember, I said energy is anywhere.
Yeah.
Energy can come from anything. Energy can flow through anything.
Mhm.
Anything. It can do anything. So you playing a movie like that, even if you were asleep,
You still kept the
energy.
energy.
Yeah, you still had that going through your body, and that's where you got that effect from it. I can almost guarantee that if you watch The Mummy the very first time, if you fell asleep, when you woke up, you probably would have thought there was wasp or what are they called, locusts, and you probably would have heard a or because he makes that noise all the time in the movie because of that energy going through your body and coming through that movie. It's still getting to you, and you're still able to hear it, and your spirit's able to still connect to it.
See, Daisy says, "Thus has only happened to me once, but it happened last year. I was having a bad dream, and yes, I was sleeping on my back on the couch during the day. I was dreaming a pit bull was trying to attack me, and I'm pretty sure you were about to say, and it did, I guess. Dang, Daisy. But yeah, that's why sleeping on your back is the #1 doorway to sleep paralysis." Reedy said, "I can't wake up early during seeing dreams. I am tired of it." Yeah, we have to get used to our dreams and being very aware of the dreams and stuff. Like me, like you said, you can't wake yourself up. I can wake myself up easy during a dream. My subconscious is very aware that I am in the dream realm or in the astral realm, and if something starts happening, I tell myself, "Renee, wake up, you're dreaming," or "Renee, wake up, you're traveling. Renee, wake up, wake up." And sometimes that's where sleep paralysis also can take place because your mind is awake, but your body isn't. Your body is still very much in that cycle, in that sleep cycle. But some of us have very, very good control over waking ourselves up during a dream, which, like I said, I've gotten very good at that in the last couple of months.
Daisy went back in there and she explained that.
Oh,
and I like to read that because it usually comes in numbers of 3. There's an actual law of 3, but it pertains to us and how it even pertains spiritually and religiously. Yeah. Nobody's away from it, and especially when it comes into the law of 3. What you probably might have dreamt about was you probably started off good actually in the dream, and all of a sudden, because that's usually how those dreams work. I've had probably hundreds of those dreams before. Everything's going good, and all of a sudden it starts going down. It might play into what happened to you the day before or the week before. You might have been stressing actually. The people can play anything from actually just being a dog to actually being something that's attacking you that you've been thinking about or wondering about for a while. It can be anything. It can be anything. Especially in this time right now, maybe, I don't know, I forgot when I read it when it did happen, and she said it only happened once. So it might have been way before then. But it might have just been an amount of stress coming down on you that you realize in that pit bull, because everybody portrays a pit bull as, ferocious and aggressive, is what's coming down on your shoulders. And it was a lot for you. And then over here, you explained, I could see 3 puppies sliding off the base of the lamp at the end of the table and at the end of my feet. That one I can't really go too much into. I don't know, my wife maybe might see more into that, but I know the law of 3 does apply to you because if you saw that, it was for a reason. Yeah.
The law of 3 literally means spirit. Okay, in religion, it means Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and God. That's basically, it means the Holy Trinity in religion, right? But also the number 3 can also represent past, present, and future. It can also represent, again, just spirit in general. So the number 3 plays a lot in the spiritual realm. That's basically what it means. Like, I know when my grandpa died, I saw the number 3 for like the next couple of months everywhere I went. I kid you not. But it was just reminded me that my grandpa was still here in spirit with us. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was like, almost like a physical reminder, And I realized I had my slightly
Man, Daisy's really going into some real detail here.
Yeah.
So this dream was actually, I think she said she woke up and it wasn't really a dream from what I'm reading. So it was actually your body telling you to get your butt up before you actually died.
Yeah. Or before you encountered something.
This is your spirit literally letting you know, hey, you're not ready to, we don't want to leave. We don't want to part. Get your butt up before you get stung to death. Or maybe because of what I'm reading here. And I've actually had a couple of those dreams too, where I wake up and stuff's happening like that as well.
Yeah. What did Ilda say? I was dreaming taking a nap and was dreaming someone was digging in the backseat of my car. I jumped in my sleep and ran outside to my car, and there was a guy in my back seat. Spirit was like, yeah, Elda, that was your spirit telling you like, hey, something's going on, you need to go and like kind of check. Or it was also kind of like again, astral projection. You can see things in the spirit realm that are actually going on in the physical realm, you know. So it's kind of like it can go hand in hand, Ilda. But that is awesome that you had some kind of like warning, you know, in your dream, or whether you're traveling and it was literally, you know, happening.
Daisy added on to saying that she had her eyes open,
Yeah.
just being protected, but that you're a protector then in that moment.
For sure.
I guess maybe you can try to put it a little bit what I said earlier. You might have been stressing about something, and the reason why I came in threes is because you're a protector onto that as well. It might have been kids, it might have been friends, it might have been family members. It could be finances, it could be anything. It could be yourself.
Yeah.
Showing that, you know, you're worried about it, and this is happening. Your eyes are actually open, but your body's telling you, hey, it's really happening.
It's really happening.
This is why your eyes are open, but you need to start from you. Remember, again, your mind is going to control you. Your spirit's there, but you need to have your full body control. You were in two different realms on that one, from what I'm reading here. You might have been in the spirit world and actually dreaming at the same time, but your body was actually trying to snap you out of everything at once.
Yeah.
Inception. Watch the movie. There's a little truth behind it. Inception. That's where you were. You were in Inception.
Also,
you're basically in three different areas when that's kind of like illegal, because your body's going, wait, you can only handle so much.
And I know we just talked about scary movies and whatnot, but Insidious, I don't know if you guys have seen Insidious, but yeah, it's a little creepy because it does have demonic, but I like the more astral projection side to it, because what goes on in that movie literally portrays what astral projection is, because the little boy and the dad actually have the gift of astral projection, but the dad blocked it out when he was a kid, but now the son kind of like got the gift. So like I said, it is a little creepy just because of the things that come out in it, but it is very good description and meaning of astral projection and sleep paralysis.
I don't know how to say the name here, but it said, I always see 1111. Any reason behind this? When they wake up, I guess when they wake up, they see it.
I know 1111 is an angel number, so try looking it up on what it means. 1111 and angel numbers, and I am pretty sure you will find the meaning of it. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but I know it's an angel message that's trying to come through. I know Reina asked a question. Have you guys ever heard of Incubus? Yeah, Incubus is
not the band.
Incubus is a spirit or entity that literally tries to suck your spirit or your energy out of your body. That's
what a succubus is.
Yeah, succubus.
Or is that just
incubus,
a parody name of the incubus?
Yeah, I think it goes like I think they go kind of hand in hand. But
I love Insidious. Okay, now you're just going really dark there, and let's get a little bit of light back in here. Let's turn on the lights.
You see it? Everybody love watching, but I know you got the reason why you actually love that movie, right? Is because it actually portrayed astral projection and sleep paralysis. Yeah, that is why I actually.
The reason why the demon was actually able to come through is because of that.
Yeah.
But it was because they kept putting it off like it's nothing.
Because they didn't have the power over it.
They didn't receive it, which it allows it. It grew off of it, saying, "Hey, I can do this for free and take everybody's mind away and control them."
I recently started suffocating when I have sleep paralysis. I feel like I can't breathe, but I will try to focus next time. Yeah, focus, CS, because again.
Remember the story I said when I was a kid. Even it happens now to me too.
Yeah,
even talking about this might happen to me tonight, and I'm partying until my wife here like. It's gonna happen because thinking about it and talking about it, it does tend to happen, but it's because you're allowing that energy to come back to you, but you need to control it.
Yeah, that's where you have to have the very best.
You have to be
power.
You got to put your mind to it. I mean, you might be the strongest mind and will and everything like that, but it does. But you also need to learn that you can catch yourself in the middle of it and focus.
Like even like in my last experience that I had, I think I was supposed to say the story, but I don't think I ever did. The last experience that I had was last week, right?
Days 11:11 means spiritual awakening.
Spiritual awakening. There you go, hun. That's what 11:11 means. I knew it was something along those lines, but I didn't want to say it and not be like, accurate. But the last paralysis I had was a week ago. And before waking up, I remember in my mind, I saw just black. Like there was nothing around. It was just plain black. And then I saw a being of light coming towards me. So I wasn't scared because I knew this being of light was good. Like I could sense a good energy and I wasn't scared. So I kind of opened my eyes a little bit and I went back to sleep. Like I was aware that I was like, in the spiritual realm, right? So while I was in the spiritual realm, again, in sleep paralysis, but my mind and my spirit are aware of where I am, I heard his dad call my name, and I knew it was his dad. Like I specifically told him, I said, somebody just called my name. And then he's like, well, what? He's like, it was probably me, or you probably heard me or something.
Yeah, actually, at the very moment, I don't know if you remember, because of course it's the middle of the night, but of course it's in that golden hour, it was around 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she says Leviticus, or she went Levi, right? And I was already awake. I was already awake, staring at the ceiling. And she didn't know, but I was actually awake, staring at the ceiling. Yeah. I don't know why, but I was really calm, but I was just staring at the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And she said, "You're awake?" I was like, "Yeah, I could feel something." And she's like, "Well, yeah, your dad." This, and I said, "Are you sure it wasn't me, Nate? Because me and my dad, we have that sexy low voice, I like to say, but still, I got that country voice."
Yeah.
But
no, I was very, very confident.
She was very adamant about it. Yeah, she's like, it's because when she explained what she saw, and I said, you know what, you were the only one that didn't get to see him. Yeah. Right before he passed, because of course she was with our daughter, and of course with COVID going on, we can't really go out.
I was supposed to go say my goodbyes the day that he passed.
We were supposed to go actually like 4 hours right before he actually passed.
Yeah.
And I think he was trying to tell her thank you for everything, because he would always ask about her. Mm-hmm. Oh, my favorite was it daughter-in-law? It was the only daughter-in-law, but still, my favorite daughter-in-law or anything like that, But the thing is, with everything going on, I know he felt that with all the energy of him feeling it was, even when he passed, he still held on a little bit just to come back. Yeah, to come back and say thank you. And, even it's bye, it's not really goodbye, but it's not here in this area or this realm.
And of course, I heard his voice, and I woke, like my mind woke up, but my body hadn't woken up yet. And I was telling myself, Renee, wake up, Renee, wake up, Renee, wake up. And like you said, like it almost feels like a push, like in your body sometimes when you wake up from it, because your spirit is fighting so hard to get back in your body that it's literally like you're just like, like.
And it happened twice, sir, and actually, twice that night, both of us were awake. Yeah, it's really weird how it happened. It was like an hour and a half apart, but I was awake again too.
Me too.
I thought I was actually asleep, but I realized that I was actually still staring at the ceiling.
Hey, Judy. Hey, Miss Weeds. How you doing? What did Raina say?
That she dealt with an incubus. You see, that one, I don't know about those. That's a very dangerous area right there.
Dealt with an incubus. I felt like it was so dark and took form of my kid's father. It spoke in my ear, and I was finally able to move. I felt beyond drained. Wow, Raina.
We're going right here on the bottom. Incubus male aspects, succubus female.
That's why I was like, yeah, I think they're like, hand in hand, incubus and.
So then watching that both. Show Charm did actually.
Yes, see, that's why I watch it.
They didn't put those 3 women on there because they were just portraying sex appeal. I mean, come on, those women never wear anything on their shoulders.
Why do you think I like watching it? Because everything that they deal with in the spirit realm, I have practically dealt with myself.
Going back to that, Raina, with an incubus, you have to be a very strong person to be able to actually deal with that. I mean, even through the movie and everything, that doesn't even portray how strong they could be and how ill they are.
In actual life,
they can literally suck the life out of you in one night.
That's if you're not even
if you're not even near anywhere strength. I mean, compared to anybody else, they can do that. And a lot of people don't know. They think, oh, that's a lie. It's not. It's not a lie. You want to watch a movie that actually makes sense, but of course, when you watch it, you better make sure you pray afterwards, because it's just it's a Hollywood movie, but it's called The Right. It's called The Right. But the only reason why, when I watched it, I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks is because it answers a lot of questions that we're actually talking about, and it actually answers a lot of questions in spiritual and religion. And one of them is we're in the middle of it, because of course these are big actors, right? But they're making sense of it all. because a lot of it was actually coming from the priest that actually gave them those details to make the movie.
That movie will open your eyes like nobody.
One of the questions there says, well, what happens if I don't believe? It don't matter if you don't believe. Evil's all around. Evil energy and evil spirits and evil demons. It's not like, oh, you don't believe, I can't attach to them. They don't care. Actually, they look for you more because they know that you don't have anything to go back to.
Yep.
That's just a little area. You need to watch that movie. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's scary, but at the end, you're going to get the shivers and you're going to be like, holy.
No, maybe like in the beginning of the movie, you'll probably get the shivers, but still.
No, like there's a one specific part during that movie towards the end where I was like, oh my God, that just gave me the shivers.
It's just too much of a real movie if you listen to what they're talking about. That's the thing. It's the scary part behind it. With whether people want to agree to it or not, it still happens.
And Raina says, charmed is bomb. Ain't that the truth? Ms. Wheat says, I astral travel often. Anyone else astral project at will? Let's meet up in the astral plane and party. I know, right? I feel like I have gained more control to astral travel at will, but I don't always do so, like just to do it. Like there has to be like a purpose that I want to do it for, or maybe there's some kind of message that I need to hear or anything along those lines. Does that make sense? But I can't do it like while I'm awake or like while I'm here, like during the day, or you know what I'm saying? Like I mainly just do it while I'm falling asleep, you know?
Read Raina's comment there. It gets really personal, and I guess it actually makes a very good point.
Yeah.
But to actually, so my grandma had a miscarriage, and she always said no matter what, it always felt like when I got all the kids together, there was one missing, and I could feel the energy there. The good thing behind that is that incubus, right, is what it's called.
Yeah, incubus.
It doesn't take them. It will. I mean, if you're religious, God will not allow that to happen. If you're spiritual, the energy behind it still won't let that happen. There's no such thing as it taking over it. What might have happened is that you use a lot of energy, and inside your body, your own energy, you had your baby too, and it might have affected your energy too, and it drained you.
Yeah.
But it would be better that happened, and it sounds bad the way I'm going to put it, but it's better that it happened that way than you losing a baby for it being taken over, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was better because now that baby is always with you, and it feeds off of your energy, and you're able to let it actually grow. And who's to say that baby won't come back later on, because there can always be another cycle of life. There's no such thing as just one.
Yeah. Elizabeth, are you talking about the movie? It's called The Right. Again, be very, very careful when you watch it, because there is demonic. It's a demonic movie.
Presence.
But at the very end, I swear, it will give you an awakening. At least it did for me. I don't know, but OMG.
You might not sleep.
Yeah, you might not, or like I said, it's gonna be. You need to be very, very careful when you watch that movie. Like I said, I don't always recommend those types of movies, but I'm telling you,
if you want to get a little bit more, I mean, I guess truth behind when you hear people say, well, I don't believe it, or I don't think about those things, I don't care about those things, so I'm fine. It's really not how it works.
The Right, isn't it? RIGHT, right?
No, it's RITE.
Oh yeah, RITE.
And I think they make the T even look like the cross,
like a cross, yeah. But basically, well, I'll give you guys a gist of what it's about. But basically, it's a priest, but he doesn't even believe in God, or he doesn't even believe in what he does. He just does it just because it ran in his family, right? That's why he does it?
Well,
if I remember correctly.
Actually, it's very complex. I can't. If I explain it to you, it's basically the whole movie, because it's going to take 30 minutes.
Just like a gist of
I guess I can put a little bit more. It's a young priest. Because of his past experiences, he's able to, they abduct him into doing, what are they called? Exorcisms.
Exorcisms, there you go.
There you go. And it's a young priest. So he goes with the older priest, which is, I forgot his actor name, but he's a really known, like I say, it's a Hollywood movie, but you got to listen to what they're talking about.
Yeah,
it's not about the people that are in there or anything like that. It's more about the detail behind it. When he goes with the individual, the priest that's been there and doing it for years. And even at the first scene where they're both there, I mean, the lady goes in, she's fine. But the moment he asks a question that's not revolving around evil, and it's revolving around faith in God, she turns right away.
Yeah.
But you won't see it. It's not like in the movies, it start turning green. Their heads start throwing up everywhere and stuff like that.
It's mainly like the voices.
I'm not saying that part hasn't
like
happened before, but we all
creepy.
don't know. But still, it's more of the attitude behind the individual.
And the voices and
it's the energy behind the individual, and then all of a sudden it's in their face.
Yeah.
You'll see it in their face and in their eyes, where the soul's already gone, and something else is there. Going a little bit more after that of what it's about. That's just the first scene of when they first meet, and it's kind of more of is he able to stomach it because he's a young priest, and they, like saying going back from his era stuff, because of course in the priesthood they look at your your past and stuff like that, and if you're able to do that, because there is such thing as that, whether people want to agree or not. Sorry, there's good and bad, and in bad there's really, really bad. So going into that movie, that's where they start asking questions. That's where you start getting answers. That's where you start thinking yourself. If it's too much for you, honestly, when I watched it, I should have probably just turned it off, because I started overthinking things, and that's why I couldn't really sleep for like 2 weeks. But it's because I allowed so much of that evil to come back to me, to allow play games, until I realized, okay, in the movie they even say prayer is always good, prayer is always healthy. You know what I mean? Faith is where they put it. If you don't want to get too detailed behind it, but have faith in something good rather than something bad. Grab the good energy rather than the bad energy, because
Even
the bad will just take over.
Even if you're not sure.
That's a little bit about what the movie is. It's an older movie, yes, but when I see it here on Netflix, I make sure to fast forward through that, so I don't even have to see the name of it, because the one time I watched it was good enough. I don't want to.
You just need to watch it one time, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not something that you want to replay, because honestly, especially for kids around, it'll make the kids' heads explode. You don't need to put them in that yet. It's better the adults tell them what's going on and try to explain it.
Was it around 2011? That sounds accurate. Like around that time.
As Raina said, just watch SpongeBob. No, honestly, I think after that movie, I think we put on something like Dr. Dolittle, or like, I don't know, when it was like a young, like it was an older movie, but something like happy, or like, okay, we got to go to sleep in the next 3 hours. Like,
let me check for you, Judy.
It was on Netflix, but it's one of those, where they take it on and put it back on Netflix. You might have to rent it. It's not. I don't even think it was really a big. Was it even a big?
No, it's not on Netflix.
Blockbuster deal or anything like that. Was it even? I don't even know if they made a lot of money off of it, but the detail behind it and the explanation and the information that it's given behind it, that's what really actually makes the difference. It's not even behind the whole, the acting or the screenwriting deal. No, it's what they're actually talking about.
Yeah.
When people actually think behind it, you're like, okay.
Insidious is on Netflix.
I fell asleep on that. That's why I said I fell asleep, and I still heard the whole movie when I fell asleep. That's a bad thing, because you can hear the voices.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, if y'all don't have any further questions, everybody say you good, or you want to read some cards after this, or what you want to do?
Usually we did. What was it the other night we did?
We read cards on Instagram. Yeah.
But we'll make it a funnier version, since we went really dark and a little bit down the hole. Let's bring it back up. Bring all the energy level back up.
It helps me after watching scary movies. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, watch a comedy. That's the best way to do.
Yeah. And sleep with all the lights
Especially
on.
Especially something you can relate to after you're
watching Insidious after this. Yeah, I do like Insidious just because of the meaning of the movie, and it actually portrays it like to the T,
I just don't like those nasty evil faces, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but you get, I'm not going to say you get used to them.
Well, talking about that, the actual, who are the individuals of the married couple that they're, what are their names? The ones that come over and help, the Warrens. Is that in Insidious? Or is that
I don't
the
even
Warrens
remember
are the couple
names,
that,
to be honest.
Well, the Warrens are actually the one that dealt with the doll as well. What's the doll's name? It's a good thing I don't remember these names, right? I forget them all.
Like, what?
But I know they come out in Insidious. I know they come out in part 2 or 3. They might even come out in part 1. But the Warrens, and I think Elizabeth Warren is the wife. And she's the one that passed away recently, I think, or a year ago or something like that.
Ooh.
So imagine that, because both of them working as a couple, they would hold in that energy and they would hold in that evil and able to help out people now, because and also they're older too, and they might be already retired and stuff like that. But really, do you really retire from energy? You really can't, especially because they have their room that's full of demonic things that they're keeping away from people in the environment. So
oh yeah, he'll definitely be back on, right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do some other things. Actually, we're gonna do more like a tipsy tarot, and that's gonna be me, obviously. So,
Oh no, I could do it too if you give me a margarita or something.
well, of course, we got to have a babysitter to do that,
Well,
and then I gotta, drag somebody to the, throw her on the bed. She passes out.
Ilda says she's so glad we married each other.
Well, I mean, we can get on. It's up to my wife if she wants to do the Instagram live, and it'll be more of a funny comedy thing. Because
Yeah,
I forgot who was on the other night, but they know that I'm a big jokester, so we can do that. Yeah. Lighten up the mood a little bit more.
If y'all want to switch to Instagram here, and probably right after this, go follow me on Instagram. For those of you who aren't, it is the tarot_magician. Go follow me, and we will we'll do an Instagram for a little bit, and then I gotta get to, because I'm actually
I do gotta help her out because she's gonna be going into realty, so we gotta help her out with that.
But I'm just signing up today. Like, we're looking into which one.
Yeah, we're gonna be looking into different schools and different programs.
Yeah, so it's not like it's like a big deal today, but I do want to get that done.
We can even talk about that in the live right now. No, on the live right now. People need help with different things like that. Everything going crazy right now.
That's true.
And then, of course, I get to drink, but still.
Yeah. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this topic and this discussion, conversations. And I hope it helped you guys, somewhat, a little bit, or even just discussing it, because I know this topic can be very hard to discuss with people that don't do it themselves, or who are not very interested in it. Like me, my family is not very interested in these kind of topics, so it's hard to talk about things. That's why I'm glad my husband and I can talk about it together. Yeah. And I'm glad we created this community. That way we can start discussing these type of things, just because, like I said, not everybody has somebody they can talk to about it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't worry, he will definitely be back. Actually, probably either Wednesday or Thursday, because he's getting his first deck in the mail.
Oh yeah, we get it Wednesday actually.
Or probably on Wednesday. He's getting it on Wednesday, but it just depends what time it comes in. But stay tuned for that, because he's gonna be reading some cards. I know, right, Ilda? Good. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. All right, guys. Like I said, if you guys want, feel free to go see us on Instagram, and we will see you guys there, and we will see you guys next time. Love you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for joining today.